In the previous episode, after braving the deadly celestial restriction, Wang Lin finally stepped into the pavilion, a place that felt like a sanctuary after walking through death. There, he discovered a celestial wine jug containing only 10 drops of divine wine. One sip of that ancient brew sent his entire body into chaos, flooding him with celestial energy before pulling him into a deep, year-long sleep. When he awoke, his cultivation had soared to the peak of the late soul transformation stage, and his body overflowed with power. Realizing the fortune he had stumbled upon, Wang Lin vowed to make full use of this mysterious cave. Yet with newfound strength came curiosity, and the urge to return to the outside world. And so, with his crystal token in hand, he prepared to leave the celestial cave and continue his path toward ascension. The story continues. In a flash of light, Wang Lin appeared once more on the stone platform where the massive stone door had once stood. The cave spirit was gone, vanished completely, along with the door itself. Only the faint traces of blood left behind by Yao Shishui remained. Proof that what had happened was real. Holding a crystal token in his hand, Wang Lin examined the information within it. It not only contained the incantations needed to enter and exit the cave, but also other important details. After a brief moment of thought, he moved, his figure shooting along the revered dragon path like a streak of lightning. He passed through one platform after another, 11 in total. Everything along the way was silent and unchanged. The massive stone statues still stood sealed by Yao Shishui's blood techniques. But now, his cultivation had reached the very peak of the late stage of soul transformation. His speed was astonishing. What had once taken months now took only half a month. Finally, he arrived at the first platform, the very beginning of the path. It was empty, but with his enhanced divine sense and the experience he had gained breaking restrictions inside the cave, Wang Lin immediately noticed something new, a hidden transfer array left behind by the blood ancestor himself. He studied the ancient array with narrowed eyes, then took out 4 storage bags, Yao Shishui's bags of holding. Before, when his cultivation had been lower, he hadn't been able to open them easily, but now, his power exceeded even Yao Shishui's. He waved his right hand across the bags. Immediately, waves of blood-colored light emerged, resisting his divine sense. Wang Lin snorted coldly. Celestial spiritual energy surged through his body. With a squeeze of his hand, the bloody glow on the first bag shattered. He did the same to the second and third, breaking the imprints one by one. But when he reached for the last bag, his hand stopped abruptly. His expression changed. He could sense something dangerous. Looking closely, he discovered a faint purple line woven within the bloody light, a detail almost impossible to notice. This was no ordinary divine sense seal. This isn't Yao Shishui's, he thought grimly. Could it be the blood ancestors? He realized that if this bag had truly been marked by the blood ancestor, it might contain a lethal divine trap. Even the faintest touch could kill him instantly. Admiring the old monster's cunning, Wang Lin carefully withdrew his divine sense and put the bag away untouched. Then he turned his attention to the other 3 bags, and what he found made even his steady heart skip a beat. The first bag overflowed with celestial jades. There were so many that even with a rough scan, he couldn't count them all. At least 10 times more than what Yao Shishui had given him before. Enough wealth to sustain cultivation through the ascendant stage and beyond. Wang Lin smiled faintly. A fortune easily earned, he murmured. The second bag held something different, over 1,000 blood-colored jades. These strange jades, he knew, could seal or protect with terrifying power once shattered. Though he didn't know the full method to control them, he understood their value. He crushed one experimentally, the air filled with red light, strong enough to form a shield. He nodded. Even without the chant, I can use them for defense. And with Yao Shishui in my grasp, I can always obtain the rest. The third bag was filled with an odd mix of things, clothes, jewelry, small ornaments, even dolls. He ignored all of it, focusing his divine sense deeper. His eyes lit up. Over 10 blood soul pills rested within, though most were dull and inactive. But one pill, set apart from the others, pulsed faintly with glowing symbols. Beside it lay a blood-red compass. Wang Lin immediately took the compass and the single glowing blood soul pill. He examined them carefully. The placement of the items told him everything. The one kept separate must be real. He reasoned. The rest are fakes meant to deceive. He stored the real pill in his own bag and returned the fake one to hers. Then his attention fixed on the compass. Cold energy seeped into his palm as he held it. He remembered that Yao Shishui had used this very compass to enter the cave, clearly. It was connected to the array. Extending his divine sense, Wang Lin located Yao Shishui's imprint within it and erased it easily. Fortunately, it didn't contain the blood ancestor's mark. Inside the compass, he discovered a small, ever-shifting formation, its symbols constantly rotating. It seemed to correspond directly with the transfer array on the platform. Wang Lin spent 3 days studying the compass and modifying both it and the array. He made a subtle but crucial change. If anyone other than him tried to enter through this place, the array would automatically force them back, trapping them in an endless loop of teleportation until the very fabric of space tore apart, dragging them into the void. He smirked. Just being sent into a spatial rift isn't necessarily fatal. I should add something more. Over the next 30 days, Wang Lin carefully layered restriction after restriction onto the array. Each one was complex, precise, and deadly. As he worked, he felt a quiet satisfaction. If anyone dares to follow me here, he thought, they'll receive quite the surprise. When all was ready, he infused his divine sense into the compass. Blood-red light enveloped his body, glowing brighter and brighter until, in a blink, both he and the light vanished. Far away, over 1,000 kilometers from the ancient army camp, a sudden flash of blood light erupted on a lonely mountain. Wang Lin stepped out from the glow. Back under the open sky, the sunlight dazzled his eyes. The world outside felt almost unreal after so long within the cave. He looked toward the distant outline of ancient Demon City. Nothing seemed to have changed. Taking a deep breath, he transformed into a streak of light and sped toward the army camp. But just as he neared, a wave of killing intent burst forth from the camp, sharp, cold, and powerful. It locked onto him instantly. A thunderous roar shook the air. Intruder, stop! The command came from deep within the demon army camp, echoing with killing intent. In the same instant, a black ray of light shot from the fortress wall, forming a dense, misty barrier around the camp. Inside, 10,000 demon soldiers stood in formation, an ocean of black armor gleaming under the dim light. At their head stood a massive, burly man clad in the same dark armor, his expression cold and commanding. Beside him was Sima Yan, standing respectfully, along with 3 other commanders who wore the same black armor of authority. Their eyes turned toward the incoming figure, Wang Lin. He descended like a meteor streaking through the sky, his aura sharp and overwhelming. As he neared the black mist barrier, he didn't slow down. Instead, he let out a cold snort. The celestial spiritual energy within him surged outward, and with that, the mist parted before him like frightened shadows, creating a path straight into the camp. The burly man's voice bellowed again. Anyone who dares break into the military camp, kill without mercy. Without hesitation, the 4 commanders beside him charged forward, their demonic spiritual energy roaring like unleashed beasts. Sima Yan hesitated for just a heartbeat, recognizing Wang Lin, before gritting his teeth and joining the attack. Each of the commanders possessed the strength of a soul transformation cultivator, 3 at the early stage, 1 at the mid-stage. Once, such a battle would have demanded Wang Lin's full strength. But that was before he entered the cave. Now, he stood at the very peak of the late stage of soul transformation, a realm that towered over all others. He did not even move. Standing still, his voice rang out like rolling thunder. Back down. The sound was quiet, but it carried the crushing weight of celestial power. The air trembled. The 3 early-stage commanders immediately paled, their bodies shaking uncontrollably as their charge faltered to a stop. Only the mid-stage commander managed to remain standing, though his face turned grim, his blood surging painfully from the pressure. Wang Lin's calm eyes swept over them. He began walking forward, step by steady step. The commander with mid-stage strength quickly moved aside, unwilling to block him. The others followed, retreating silently, fear tightening their chests. Even Sima Yan, who had once looked down on Wang Lin, didn't dare meet his gaze. Cold sweat slid down his back. He couldn't help but think, if he had known Wang Lin's true power before, he would never have dared to provoke him. The thought of what had happened to 13 and Hu Pao made his heart sink even further. As Wang Lin advanced, the rows of demon soldiers instinctively parted. The memories of their former commander's strength and mystery resurfaced in their minds. Even those who had never met him felt an instinctive dread. A long, open path formed between the ranks, leading directly to the burly man in black armor. That man's eyes glimmered coldly, but his expression grew heavier with each step Wang Lin took. The pressure pouring from Wang Lin's body was like a rising tide, cold, vast, and unstoppable. Frost began to spread along the ground, each step he took freezing the air around him. The burly man took a step forward, roaring, his aura surging outward like a violent storm. The force of it sent the nearby soldiers stumbling back, yet as it collided with Wang Lin's aura, it simply dissolved. In that instant, Wang Lin saw through his opponent completely. The man's cultivation, late-stage soul transformation, but not at its peak. And against a peak cultivator, the difference was absolute. Wang Lin continued forward, expression unmoving, while the other man's chest tightened under the invisible weight. He wanted to step back, but pride and duty as chief commander held him in place. He knew the moment he retreated, his position, his prestige, and his courage would shatter. Finally, when only 20 steps separated them, he gritted his teeth and shouted, "Commander Wang, what is the meaning of this?" Wang Lin's eyes were icy. "This is my camp," he said coldly. "What do you think I intend?" The words hit like a hammer. The burly man felt as if mountains had crashed down upon him, forcing him to one knee. "Still," he roared back, "you have been missing for over a year. The demon general has stripped you of your title." Wang Lin paused for only a moment. Only 1 year? A faint flicker of relief crossed his heart, but his aura flared even stronger. "Where are my followers?" he demanded, his divine sense sweeping across the entire camp. But 13 and Hu Pao were nowhere to be found. The distance between them closed, 10 steps. The pressure thickened like a physical weight, pressing down on every soldier present. The burly man's forehead was drenched in sweat. He could endure no more. Wang Lin's steps quickened, 7 steps in a row, each one heavier than the last. The ground cracked under his feet. The aura of a peak soul transformation cultivator erupted like a volcano. The burly man could no longer resist, his body instinctively stepped back. In that instant, his momentum shattered, while Wang Lin's presence surged to its apex. "Not good," the man gasped. Too late. Wang Lin's body blurred into motion, transforming into a streak of lightning. His hand rose, thumb extended, the finger of death. The burly man roared, clenching his fists. Demonic energy exploded from his body, forming behind him a colossal black tortoise covered in spikes, its tail lashing wildly as it swung toward Wang Lin with the force to tear the heavens apart. But Wang Lin's finger pressed forward. The sky dimmed, the earth trembled, even distant soldiers felt their blood boiling as the finger's power drew the demonic essence from the air, and from them. The black tortoise's tail met the descending finger. The impact shattered it instantly, cracks spreading like spiderwebs through its massive body. The difference between late-stage and peak late-stage soul transformation was like that between earth and sky. The finger of death, infused with Wang Lin's new celestial might, reached power close to that of an ascendant cultivator. The tortoise exploded into fragments, and the shockwave shattered the burly man's armor. He staggered back, coughing blood, falling to one knee. Wang Lin's gaze was cold as ice. Demonic arts indeed have their own unique strength, he muttered, but against me, they're still far too weak. He extended his hand, and with a flick of divine power, Sima Yan's body was pulled toward him as if by an invisible force. Catching him easily, Wang Lin's eyes narrowed, his voice came out low, sharp, and deadly calm. "Now tell me, where are my followers?" Sima Yan's body trembled. The cold voice that entered his ears froze his very soul. "Half a year after you left," he stammered, The two of them, they went missing. I don't know where they went. Wang Lin's eyes turned sharp as blades. Without a word, he raised 2 fingers and pressed them toward Sima Yan's forehead. In the next instant, a wave of spiritual force burst out. He was performing a soul search. Sima Yan's body convulsed violently. Blood spurting from his eyes, ears, nose, and mouth. His face twisted in agony as his mind was forcibly laid bare. Memories poured into Wang Lin's divine sense like a flood. He saw everything clearly. Half a year after Wang Lin had left, 13 and Hu Pao had quarreled. Hu Pao wanted to return to the tribe, while 13 insisted on staying behind to wait for Wang Lin. But when Hu Pao tried to leave, Sima Yan stopped him, using the excuse of violating army rules. Sima Yan crippled his cultivation and threw him into the dark prison. 3 months later, Hu Pao vanished mysteriously. The dark prison was tightly guarded. Even Sima Yan didn't know how he disappeared. As for 13, he tried to rescue Hu Pao but was no match for Sima Yan. His bones and meridians were shattered, his life barely hanging by a thread, just as Sima Yan was about to throw him into the dungeon to die. The chief commander appeared and took 13 away. When the final memory faded, Wang Lin's gaze turned as cold as an ancient glacier. He laughed, once, twice, 3 times. Each laugh dripped with rage. "Good," he said through gritted teeth. "Very good, very good." The air around him froze. He lifted his hand, activated the celestial slaughter art, and in an instant, Sima Yan's body withered into dust. Flesh exploded apart, and threads of gray gas drifted out, coiling between Wang Lin's fingers, forming a life seal, a fragment of power born from death itself. Without another glance, Wang Lin turned toward the burly man in black armor, the same man who had taken 13 away. In a blink, he appeared before him. "Where is 13? The burly man frowned. "If you mean the barbarian Sima Yan crippled, I healed him and gave him to the demon general." The general was gathering warriors with strong bodies. And that barbarian met the requirement. "If you want him back, you'll have to ask the demon general yourself." Wang Lin's voice was low, cold, and steady. "You saved 13 and then gave him away. That balances your crime. I won't kill you." Before the man could respond, Wang Lin's body turned into green smoke and vanished into the clouds, heading straight for the demon general's palace. As he disappeared into the distance, the burly man murmured to himself, "The demon general has been in seclusion for half a year. All transfer arrays are sealed. The only way in is to break through." High above the city, Wang Lin's divine sense spread like a vast wave. The transfer arrays glowed faintly, locked by a power only the demon general could undo. He sighed, "I brought 13 and Hu Pao to this city. Their fate became tangled with mine. If not for me, they would still be alive and free." For a brief moment, doubt crossed his heart. Breaking into the demon general's palace meant defying the sky demon country itself. The rational path was to turn back. But reason could not overcome conviction. "I've walked too far down this path to turn away. If I can't even save 13, what Tao am I seeking?" His eyes hardened with resolve. The sky trembled beneath his determination. Ahead lay 6 heavily guarded gates separating him from the demon general's palace. If he could not teleport inside, he would force his way through them one by one. He appeared before the 6th gate, towering 100 feet tall and blazing with restrictive seals. A guard shouted, "Stop, one more step and you'll die without question." Wang Lin said nothing. The celestial sword appeared beside him, spinning slowly, the spirit Shu Leguo's fierce roars echoing from within. The guards unleashed their demonic energy and charged, but Wang Lin walked forward calmly. The sword flashed, each movement a blur of silver light. Screams filled the air, none could even touch him. With a single slash, the celestial sword struck the 6th gate. Boom! The entire door exploded into fragments. Beyond it, thousands of demon soldiers reeled from the shockwave. "I wish to meet the demon general," Wang Lin said calmly, his voice echoing across the courtyard. The demon soldiers roared, "Kill!" and surged forward like a black tide. Wang Lin's hand moved. A violent wind rose from nowhere, forming a tornado that tore through the ranks. carving a path straight ahead. He walked through it, unstoppable. With one palm strike, the fifth gate shattered into dust. 10,000 more soldiers awaited him, merging their demonic energy into a massive wave. Wang Lin was forced to step back, but he responded instantly, summoning 3 sword sheaths from planet Suzaku. 3 streams of sword light burst forth, colliding with the demonic wave. Explosions shook the ground. Wang Lin advanced again, using his restriction flag to summon countless black sigils that spiraled around him like serpents. Still, more soldiers poured in. Tens of thousands surrounded him. Lord Demon General, Wang Lin's voice thundered across the battlefield. Wang Lin requests an audience. No answer. The soldiers attacked as one. Wang Lin's eyes darkened. He raised his thumb, the finger of death. The sky dimmed. Every demon soldier within 1,000 feet froze. Their bodies withered to husks as their life force and demonic energy were absorbed into his hand. Wang Lin's figure became a flash of lightning, breaking through to the 4th gate. Another boom, the door collapsed. An old man emerged, surrounded by demonic energy that took the form of a giant python. Back down, the old man roared, sending the python forward. Wang Lin's thumb met the beast. The python screamed, its form crumbling inch by inch. The old man staggered backward, blood spilling from his mouth. Wang Lin stepped past him without a word. The killing path continued. He unleashed the celestial slaughter art again. His body wreathed in gray mist. Every movement was death incarnate. Demon soldiers died by the hundreds, by the thousands, their combined formations barely slowing him. His energy began to wane, but he replenished it with celestial jades that orbited around him, draining their power instantly. Demonic finger, he roared, his other hand descending. The attack detonated through the air, flesh and blood burst apart, forming a crimson dragon that smashed through the 3rd gate. The old man behind the python screamed and exploded, unable to withstand the demonic finger. 6 white-haired elders appeared next, each one a late-stage soul transformation expert. Tens of thousands of soldiers stood behind them. Wang Lin sighed softly. So this is the power of the demon spirit land. A single army can rival even Ascendants. Then, he raised his pinky finger and whispered, "Underworld." The heavens darkened, thunder rolled, a colossal mountain and river scroll unfolded in the sky, releasing endless gray mist. From it emerged a second underworld finger, born from the power of life and death itself. Wang Lin's body merged with that finger. He became its will, its strike, its destruction. The underworld finger descended. The 6 elders tried to resist, pouring all their energy into defense, but they were swept aside like leaves in a storm. Even the 2nd gate crumbled under the pressure before Wang Lin's finger touched it. Behind it stood a small figure, eyes sharp as lightning, body radiating power. He thrust his hand forward, colliding with Wang Lin's strike. The ground split, white light and black lightning twisting together. For 3 breaths, they struggled. Then the small man was forced back, 10 feet, 100 feet, all the way to the 1st gate, before crashing through it in a thunderous explosion. Coughing blood, he shouted, "Commander Wang, what do you want?" "I want to meet the demon general." Gray mist swirled around Wang Lin, every wisp carrying a stolen life. The underworld finger's power surged to its peak. The small commander's defenses shattered. He was hurled aside as the 1st gate fell. And from the ruins, a tall figure stepped forward. He didn't speak, he simply threw a punch. The ground quaked. 10 waves of collapsing fist intent erupted one after another, merging into a single destructive force that collided head-on with Wang Lin's underworld finger. The heavens roared as the 2 powers clashed, death against life, slaughter against will. Ripples spread outward for miles, tearing apart the battlefield. An unimaginable force erupted from the demon general's strike, crashing into Wang Lin like a tidal wave of pure destruction. Cracking sounds echoed through his body. His pinky finger, the one carrying the underworld finger, splintered first. The force swept through his limbs and bones like a storm. Wang Lin was thrown backward. His feet gouged deep scars into the stone ground, dragging for 30 feet before he could brace himself and stop. Around him, The shockwave unfurled like the breath of a furious god. The demon soldiers who had been drained by his underworld finger disintegrated into dust. Within 5 kilometers, buildings collapsed like sand sculptures in a hurricane. The air itself screamed as the blast spread outward. Only those with the power of soul transformation or higher managed to survive within that violent storm. Amidst the chaos, the blood and flesh that had been scattered across the battlefield began to glow faintly. The slaughter aura of the celestial slaughter art returned to its master, streaming toward WANG LIN and swirling around him like mist hungry for vengeance. From the dust, a deep, rumbling voice spoke. What a powerful spell! As the haze cleared, the demon general appeared, a towering figure. His demonic armor cracked but not broken. His body trembled slightly, he had barely resisted being thrown back. The demonic energy inside him surged wildly, suppressing the backlash. Lightning flared in his eyes as he stepped forward, crossing 30 feet in a single stride. He thrust his palm into the ground. The world roared in response. The earth shook, and in an instant, the land within 5 kilometers transformed into a raging demonic ocean. Waves surged upward, their black crests towering like mountains. The air was filled with the roaring of an endless sea. Withstand my 100-wave demon sea. The demon general's voice thundered. Only then are you qualified to speak with me. WANG LIN's expression darkened. The demonic spiritual energy around him condensed, normally invisible, now transformed into tangible water that surged with deadly intent. The crashing sea bore down on him with unstoppable momentum, each wave heavier and sharper than the last. Compared to the 10 collapses fist, this demon sea was on a completely different level, more powerful, more refined, more terrifying. As the waves surged, a thought flashed through WANG LIN's mind. He suddenly remembered a legend from planet Suzaku, that the vast sea of devils had once been created by a cultivator's spell, transforming real water into mist. He had doubted that story before, but now, seeing the demon general's spell with his own eyes, he understood. Such a thing was truly possible. The waves rose higher, 20, then 30 stacked together, towering over him like a wall of black sky. WANG LIN continued to retreat, not out of fear, but to think. He needed time to break this spell. With quick, precise hand movements, he drew layers of restrictions, forming barriers of spiritual light before him. But the demonic waves tore through them effortlessly, each one shattering like thin glass before a hammer. The ocean pressed closer, the air trembled. Just as WANG LIN was about to take out blood jades from Yao Shishui's storage bag, something strange happened. A golden symbol suddenly flared inside his mind, glowing brighter and brighter. It was the mark he had absorbed from the second statue. He ignored it for the moment and crushed a handful of blood jades. Blood-colored light burst forth, wrapping around his entire body in a protective cocoon. The 30 demonic waves crashed into him. The sound was deafening, like storms smashing against an unyielding cliff. The crimson light shuddered, held for a few seconds, then shattered completely. The waves poured over him once again. At that moment, the golden symbol in his mind blazed with unbearable brilliance, clearer and sharper than ever before. His body tensed, even his celestial spiritual energy began to falter under the strange interference. Why now, he muttered. But then, realization dawned on him. Nothing happens without reason. Perhaps this symbol appeared precisely because it was the key. He exhaled slowly, opened his mind, and formed a restriction before him. Gray gas, the aura of death, swirled out from his body, forming a misty screen. WANG LIN's right finger moved. He drew a single stroke across the mist. The gas twisted, forming a faint symbol. The instant it appeared, clarity returned to WANG LIN's mind. The chaos vanished, his spirit sharpened like a blade. The demon general's eyes narrowed. From his view, the symbol looked harmless, but WANG LIN's calm composure made him uneasy. WANG LIN's finger moved again, the second stroke appeared. The symbol brightened. A third stroke followed, and as it formed, the golden mark in WANG LIN's mind dissolved, fusing directly into the symbol. Suddenly, the air trembled. The power emanating from that mark was vast, so vast that even the demon general's heart tightened. He roared and expanded his spell. The 30 waves became 60. They thundered forward like a sea trying to devour the heavens. The golden symbol collided with the first 30 waves, and obliterated them in an instant. It dimmed slightly, then smashed through the next 30, both forces vanishing in a burst of blinding light. When the radiance faded, 3 thin threads of gray energy shot out from where the symbol had been. They tore through the remnants of the demonic sea and streaked straight toward the demon general. His eyes sharpened. Armor, activate. At his command, a curtain of demonic spiritual energy appeared before him. The 3 gray threads slammed into it, shaking the barrier violently before being repelled. The demon general laughed. What a powerful symbol spell. I've underestimated you. WANG LIN, come. Show me the rest of your power. Let's see what else you can do. WANG LIN's expression was cold. Where is 13? The demon general's grin widened. We'll talk, after we fight. WANG LIN took a slow step back, his eyes gleaming like ice. If I use my final technique, he said softly, you will die. Oh? The demon general chuckled, his voice full of arrogance. Then show me. If it can kill me, I'll die with satisfaction. He raised his hand again. The ocean churned. 40 new waves emerged, circling around him like 40 demonic dragons. His presence became divine, a true sea god of demons. WANG LIN rose into the air, hovering hundreds of feet above. His expression was calm, his eyes closed. He knew now, this man's power far exceeded his own. The 10 collapses fist was only one of his techniques. The 100-wave demon sea was his true killing move. And there might still be more hidden beyond that. Even though their cultivation levels were the same, the demon general's mastery of spells and control of energy were far superior. WANG LIN understood, in pure combat, he could not win. But he didn't come here to win. He came here to save 13. If he was injured or defeated, that goal would vanish completely. So instead of brute strength, he would rely on something else. He opened his eyes slowly. In his mind, he recalled the giant handprint he had once studied in the celestial realm, the divine palm that could crush the heavens themselves. He had tried to imitate it before, against Red Butterfly, but back then it had only been a hollow image. Now, with his current understanding, he would try again, and this time, he would fill it with power. He took a deep breath. His mind entered the same state he had when he first comprehended that palm. Then he looked down. His gaze turned divine, cold, vast, infinite. From the sky, he looked upon the world as though he were a god staring down at ants. The demon general felt it instantly. His body trembled. This gaze, he whispered, it's like the one I feel when I face the ancient demon in the temple. Even the demon emperor doesn't possess it. The waves around him faltered, trembling uncontrollably. WANG LIN raised his right hand and pressed downward. The sky darkened. Countless streams of mysterious force gathered beneath him, condensing into a massive palm print, ancient and divine, descending from the heavens like the hand of a celestial god. The sea boiled with fury. Towering waves rose toward the heavens as the demon general's body trembled violently. Before his eyes, everything, the ocean, the sky, even the light, was swallowed by one terrifying image. A giant palm, descending from the heavens. The moment that palm appeared, the world seemed to lose all meaning. An overwhelming sense of dread filled the demon general's heart. It wasn't just power, it was absolute inevitability. He couldn't block it, he couldn't dodge it, he couldn't even think of resisting. That palm, it felt like the heavens themselves. A palm that could crush worlds, destroy all beings, and erase life itself. The weight of it pressed down upon him until his will began to crack. His battle intent, something that had never wavered before, was shattered by fear. But then, from within that despair, something in him rebelled. His chest rose, his eyes burned with defiance. And with a roar that shook the sea, he forced his fear away. Even if you are the heavens, he shouted, I must fight. Even if you can destroy the world, I must fight. Even if you can destroy all life, you cannot destroy the will to fight in my heart. His body straightened like an unbending spear. The waves around him roared in response, transforming into countless sea dragons that spiraled upward toward the falling palm. His fighting spirit blazed brighter than ever before. But then, a gentle breeze brushed past. The palm struck. The sea fell silent. The demon general stood motionless. Eyes wide, he felt nothing, no pain, no impact, no destruction. The palm had landed, but it left no trace. Only the chilling realization that, for a moment, his life had hung between existence and death. A calm voice echoed above him. "You are already dead." Wang Lin descended slowly from the sky, his expression tranquil, his tone cold. The demon general's mind reeled. What kind of spell is that?" he asked, unable to hide the trembling in his voice. "This spell has no name," Wang Lin replied evenly. The demon general stared, then let out a slow breath as the waves receded around him. "You haven't completely mastered that technique," he said softly. Wang Lin's gaze didn't flicker. "You can try again," he said simply. Those calm words froze the demon general where he stood. Even if he wanted to test it, the fear of that palm's power, the memory of standing before death itself, made his body refuse to move. He suspected it might have been an illusion. But what if he was wrong? What if it was real? Even a 10% chance was enough to kill him instantly. Finally, the demon general sighed. "That must be your hidden ace." Wang Lin didn't answer. He knew silence was stronger than explanation. The less he said, the more his opponent's imagination would torment him. After a long pause, Wang Lin asked coldly, "Where is 13? The demon general hesitated, then said, "I've been refining a treasure. It requires 18 warriors with strong bodies. Your follower, 13, was later in line, so he hasn't been refined yet." He continued, his tone cautious but calm. "You are my commander, so I can return him to you. But, you killed tens of thousands of demon soldiers and destroyed 5 kilometers of the city. That cannot simply be overlooked." Wang Lin's expression didn't change. "What do you want?" he asked. "In 3 months, the demon general said, I must return to the capital of the Sky Demon country for debriefing. During that time, the generals will compete for rank. If you agree to help me there, I will forget this matter. If not, even if I die, you will never stand securely in this land." His voice was steady now, no longer commanding, but speaking to an equal. The strength Wang Lin had displayed demanded respect. After a moment's thought, Wang Lin nodded. A grin spread across the demon general's face, washing away the tension that had filled the air. "Good," he said, laughing heartily. "From today onward, I Mo Lehigh, left-wing general of the Sky Demon Army, appoint you as my sole vice-general. If I rank in the top 3 during the competition, I'll request the Demon Emperor himself to grant you the title of general. You'll have your own city and 100,000 demon soldiers under your command. How's that?" As he spoke, he waved his right hand, conjuring a swirling black vortex before him. Tiny specks of light shimmered within it, souls bound by his magic. Mo Lehigh pointed to one of the lights, and it burst apart. From within, a figure fell out, 13, unconscious, but unharmed. That simple gesture said much. Mo Lehigh was showing sincerity. He no longer intended to use 13 as a bargaining chip. The respect he offered was born from fear and recognition. Even if he still doubted the palm's reality, he dared not challenge it again. Wang Lin extended his divine sense, confirming that 13 was alive and merely unconscious. Without another word, he picked him up, stepped into the air, and vanished like lightning. Mo Lehigh watched him go, hands clasped behind his back, shaking his head slightly. Moments later, 5 powerful cultivators approached, all with late-stage soul transformation strength. One of them said cautiously, "Demon General, I believe that palm was a bluff. If you had attacked, you could have killed him." Mo Lehigh gave a bitter smile. "Perhaps, but even knowing that, I couldn't make myself take the risk, even if it was an illusion. To make me hesitate, that alone proves how dangerous he is. To make the false appear real, and the real appear false, this man is truly formidable." He looked toward the horizon where Wang Lin had vanished and murmured, "1 year ago, he could only withstand 7 strikes of my 10 collapse punch. Now, a year later, his cultivation has soared beyond recognition." He and Commander Yao disappeared at the same time. Yet only he returned, "There's more to this than we know. But it's none of my concern." Meanwhile, Wang Lin sped through the skies, his divine sense spreading across the land. Soon, he located the dark prison below the city. He appeared silently at its entrance, carrying 13. The prison was heavily guarded, but its barriers meant nothing to him now. He searched for Hu Pao, but found no trace. A quiet sigh escaped his lips before his figure blurred and vanished once again. Now, faster than ever before, Wang Lin streaked through the air toward the soul refining tribe. Within moments, he appeared dozens of kilometers away, gazing at the black mist swirling above the tribe's territory. In that mist floated countless soul fragments, glowing faintly as ghostly wails echoed through the night. The tribe had not grown larger during his absence, but every member had grown stronger. Their cultivation had deepened, their control of souls had improved. Smiling faintly, Wang Lin advanced, lightning trailing in his wake. He could already sense more than 10 guards watching from the shadows, familiar auras. His loyal people. In less than a breath, he was 1,000 feet from the tribe. The sudden gust of wind that followed his arrival swept through the valley, drawing attention. One of the guards spotted him and froze in disbelief. Then, his voice broke through the air, trembling with joy. "Ancestor." That single cry spread like wildfire. All around, cultivators stopped their training, souls withdrew into their flags, and in the blink of an eye, the entire soul refining tribe was on its feet. Ouyang Hua, his trusted follower, turned into a black mist and rushed forward, stopping just 10 feet before him. His face was filled with emotion as he bowed deeply. "Welcome back, Ancestor." Behind him, every single member of the soul refining tribe dropped to one knee. Their voices rose together like thunder rolling across the mountains. "Welcome back, Ancestor." And so, in this episode marks a powerful turning point for Wang Lin. Through his illusionary palm, an attack that carried the aura of heaven itself, he forced even a mighty demon general to bow in fear. The brilliance of this moment wasn't in raw strength, but in wisdom, control, and presence. Wang Lin didn't need to strike. His calm and confidence alone shattered his opponent's will. This encounter showed that he had risen beyond ordinary cultivators. He had learned to blend illusion and truth, making others believe in his invincibility. It also earned him recognition from one of the strongest figures in the demon army, turning hostility into alliance. Yet, beneath his calm victory, Wang Lin's heart remained unchanged. He sought no fame or title, only to protect those who followed him. When he finally returned to the soul refining tribe, greeted by the voices of his people calling him Ancestor, it symbolized not just his return in body, but his return in power, dignity, and spirit. After a long, perilous journey, Wang Lin had come home.